Part 2 of the special edition of Full Court Press Basketball Debate, January 20th, 2015. Chris Guyette here with Yvonne Juno. Now, there are two games tonight. Two decently important games. Not anything that could drastically change the standings or anything like that. But they're kind of important a little bit. And,
well, if who we've got picked does not win, I will be devastated, and eventually it will make a difference.
And we've got a bunch of games on Wednesday night to discuss. Okay?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12
Another
games.
12-game night on Wednesday.
Yeah,
Okay.
with some unbelievable games.
We are now going to discuss...
Wait a minute. The next game that we do play, the Pelicans, is the Lakers.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought I had missed a game against Dallas, but that game is after the Lakers.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, we also play
Minnesota on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's discuss tonight's two games.
All right.
First, we've got...
To me, they're easy picks. Of course, that's come back to bite us before.
Tonight, we've got Oklahoma City at Miami. Okay? Oklahoma City looking to go up above 500 for the first time this season. Okay?
Okay.
As of right now, Dwayne Wade is probable.
Really? Okay.
That does change things. Simply because Dwayne Wade is Dwayne Wade.
But even if he's probable, do you honestly think they're going to let him play that many minutes?
I think he'll. I think he'll play a decent amount of minutes.
I think the coach is stupid for letting him get back on the court if he's not 100%.
It changes the game,
Sorry.
but it doesn't change my pick.
No, me either.
The way Oklahoma City has been playing, the numbers that Durant and Westbrook have been putting up. I mean, Oklahoma City's favored by 7.5.
Yeah.
I like them by 9.
Yeah.
With or without Wade.
Right.
I like them by 9 to 12
So we both
points.
agree it's OKC. Okay?
Yeah.
Not changing mine either.
San Antonio at Denver.
There's no contest.
Denver's coming off of its worst loss of the season to Golden State, which was last night.
Yep. And they got to travel home.
San Antonio is favored by 8 tonight.
They got to face the fans tonight.
I've got San Antonio in this game by 13 to 15 points.
I think it might be even more than that.
Denver's...
Morale's going to be down. They got to face the fans. They're whipped from last night. They're going to be depressed. Morale's going to be in the toilet. We'll see. I've got San Antonio too, so we have no differences tonight.
I do as well.
Okay.
As far as standings go, Miami, no matter what happens tonight, will remain in 7th. Oklahoma City, no matter what happens... Actually, timeout, if and only if Oklahoma City loses tonight, them and New Orleans can switch spots back.
Really?
Because we have beaten Oklahoma City.
We'll go back to 9th and they would drop to 10th.
Yes.
That ain't going to happen.
Only if they lose.
Yeah, okay.
Now we go to Wednesday night. Let's start with the first game. Miami at Charlotte. Miami's playing at home tonight.
Well, number one, will Dwayne be there? And number two, what's Miami going to do tonight? That's so hard to predict. But they're not going to be at home. They got to travel. And Charlotte
is coming off of a big victory against Minnesota.
Yeah. Charlotte's going to be pumped.
It's a home stand. I got to go Charlotte. Although I hope Miami wins, I have to go Charlotte, and I got to be smart.
17 and 24.
I'm going to say Charlotte by 6.
What if Dwayne's playing?
I still think Charlotte wins because
Really?
Miami is going to be playing Oklahoma City tonight, who runs. I
Okay?
say Charlotte by 6.
I'm picking Charlotte, but I reserve the right to change it to Miami if Dwayne Wade's playing tomorrow night because he didn't play tonight. You follow me?
Got it.
Okay.
Utah and Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Gonna be more interesting than people think, though.
Oh, Utah's doing well.
Okay.
Utah's doing well. Do not underestimate Utah.
Don't underestimate Utah. However, the way LeBron is playing
Oh, there's no.
and the way Kyrie Irving has
And
been
at
playing,
home? And
Cleveland,
with Kyrie Irving at home? Come on.
Cleveland's favored by 9.
Of course they are.
I like Cleveland by about 11 in this game.
This may be the most interesting game of the night.
New York at Philadelphia.
The Clippers, the Pelicans, lost to Philadelphia last week and lost to New York last night. So they're both kind of pumped from their win. I don't know what kind of difference the fan base for Philadelphia makes.
For the first time in a long time, I'm picking the Knicks to win this game.
That's what I was thinking.
Against New Orleans. In the Knicks' state of mind right now, New Orleans was an elite team.
Yes.
And they beat an elite team.
Right. Mine.
The last thing Philadelphia wanted was for Carmelo Anthony to gain confidence.
Right. The last thing anybody would want.
Melo drops 35 in this game.
Yep.
The Knicks win by at least 7 points.
Let me ask you a question, Chris. They do not play tonight, either team. Okay? And New York won in Madison Square Garden last night. Okay? And beat the Pelicans. They got a day of rest and then they have to travel to Philadelphia where it's snowing big time. The weather's bad. Okay? Philadelphia
got waxed
Got
by Washington.
waxed
So
by
they're traveling
Washington.
too. The only difference
No, Philadelphia's going to be at home.
but they got to travel from Washington.
Yeah, but they got that to do today and rest up.
Right. So
How
did
much
the
of
Knicks.
a difference do you think that makes?
None.
Okay.
The only difference between them is that New York's coming off a win. For the first time since early December. Okay. Sorry. Knicks by 7.
What does the line say?
The line is even.
Well, that's our difference because I'm going with Philadelphia.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
Indiana and Atlanta.
Oh, please.
Atlanta's favored by 10.5.
We don't even have to talk
I like
about
that as a margin.
it. We don't have to talk about it.
Orlando and Detroit.
That's going to be a good game.
Gonna be a good game. Two teams with pretty similar records. God bless you.
Oh, excuse me.
Two teams with pretty similar records.
Neither one played last night.
Detroit's coming off a loss to Atlanta. And Orlando has not
And
played
neither
all
one's
week.
playing tonight.
Orlando has not played all week.
Oh. Okay.
I, for one, like Detroit in this game simply because of the way they've been playing since Josh Smith has left. I see more confidence. It's radiating onto Stan Van Gundy, which means it's radiating onto his players. The two big men in the middle, Greg Monroe and Andre Drummond, are dominant. They're going to win the rebounding game. And Brandon Jennings scoring.
Orlando has been nothing to sneeze at lately, though.
I like Detroit by 6.
What does the line say?
Right now, the line is Detroit by 4.5. I like Detroit by 6. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a good game.
I got Detroit, but I don't see Detroit by 6. We'll see.
Toronto and Memphis.
In Memphis. Wow.
Right now, the line is 5 to Memphis.
Toronto played last night and won.
Big win at Milwaukee.
Yep.
Big win.
Well, there was no doubt they were going to beat Milwaukee anyway.
Oh, but it's still a big
But
win because of the way they've been playing.
Memphis lost last night
At home to Dallas.
to Dallas. I got Toronto.
There are 2 keys to this game.
What's the line say?
5 to Memphis.
See, I'm on the fence about this.
There are 2 keys to this game, and there are 2 main reasons why I pick an upset. I'm going Toronto.
Wait. In Memphis with a day of rest, I don't know.
There are 2 main reasons why I am picking an upset. Toronto over Memphis. Reason A. The last time these 2 teams faced off, you picked Memphis. I picked Toronto. And Toronto won without DeMar DeRozan. He's back. He looks good. He's fitting in
Oh, he looks
right where he
awesome.
left off. And secondly, Mike Conley doesn't play in this game. Kyle Lowry's going to go off.
When will we know that?
Game time decision, probably. I think either way, if Toronto can do it without DeRozan, they can do it with DeRozan. I like Toronto
Okay, finish that sentence. And what about Conley?
Conley played in the last meeting, and Memphis still lost. I like Toronto.
Conley played last night.
No, he didn't. The last time Toronto played Memphis,
Right.
Conley played, DeRozan
Okay,
didn't.
so my question is, what's making you think that Conley's going to play Wednesday night?
That's why I'm picking Toronto,
Oh,
because I don't think
I
he's
thought
gonna
maybe
play.
you saw something.
No.
What is the line saying?
5 to Memphis. I've got Toronto by 4.
Will you change your mind if Conley comes back
No.
to Memphis?
No.
Well, we got another difference then. I'm going with Memphis. Okay?
Dallas and Minnesota.
This is going to be our game-changing weeknight.
I don't think
Dallas,
there's
come
anything
on.
to dispute here.
No kidding.
I've got Dallas by 13, at least. Okay? The Lakers at New Orleans.
In New Orleans, right. What's the line say?
Right now, the line...
After last night,
Right now, the line is 5.5 to New Orleans.
really? They're giving him that.
Anthony Davis, there's a 95% chance he will be back. Okay? And that, to me, right there, is enough to give us the win. Okay?
I'm picking New Orleans, but if Drew and Davis are still out,
Drew Holiday, in all likelihood, will be out. Will Kobe play? We don't know.
I'm reserving the right to change my mind about that one.
Oklahoma
This
City.
is the game of the night.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
The last game is the game of the night.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Oklahoma
Ooh.
City at Washington.
What's the line say?
Right now, and this is. I'm not even going to say this line because Oklahoma City plays tonight. Okay.
Tell me what it says.
Right now it says 1 to Oklahoma City, but they play tonight, so that's not even valid. Okay, that's going to change no matter
Wait
the
a
result.
minute. They play tonight in Miami. They're doing road trips. And then they have to travel from Miami up to Washington overnight.
This is going to be okay.
Ooh.
When you look at this game,
But Washington beat the pants off Philadelphia big time.
when you look at this game, you're going to say, "Oh my goodness, Kevin Durant versus Paul Pierce."
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I'm saying. Russell Westbrook versus John Wall
Yeah.
is going to be a classic.
Yeah. That's why I said it was the game of the night. But I think Russell can take Wall.
But I think Wall can take Westbrook. Wall has been amazing this year and has not been injured. Okay? Coming off the huge win against Philadelphia. Huge in margin, that is. Okay? No traveling. OKC, especially if by some chance they lose to Miami tonight. Not often that I do this, but I'm going with Washington over Oklahoma City.
Are you really?
I am. And I think this game's going to be close to the end. All the way to the end, I think this game's going to be close. And you know what I think's going to happen? The truth will set you free. Paul Pierce will hit a big shot in this game.
Wow.
Washington by 2.
Well, my pick was going to be Washington anyway. I'm just floored by the fact that you picked it.
Washington by 2.
It's going to be tight.
This!
Okay, I'd like to qualify this by saying this could go either way.
This is gonna be a game. Portland at Phoenix.
What's the line?
Right now, the line is 3 to Portland. Okay?
I got Phoenix.
Aldridge did exit yesterday's game with a thumb injury. Okay?
Okay.
It's not severe. He should play, which is important. If Aldridge wasn't playing, I would say Phoenix. And it's going to be a close game.
I got Phoenix. No matter what the line says, I got Phoenix. They've been doing too good. They're going to be at home. They're going to have their own fan base. I got Phoenix.
Well, mark that down as a difference because I
Oh.
do not see Goran Dragic stopping Damian Lillard. I don't see it happening.
Okay.
Brooklyn and Sacramento. Gonna be an interesting one because
We got some interesting games.
you can't get much closer than these two teams' records.
No
okay?
kidding.
Right now, the line is 5 to Sacramento. Okay?
Yeah, look what happened last night. Look what happened last night. That's one we both lost last night. Sacramento beat Portland last night.
No, they didn't. Portland
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't. Portland beat Sacramento.
No!
Yes. 98-94, Portland.
87-84.
No. 98-94, Portland.
That's not what it said.
98-94, Portland.
Then I got that right.
Yeah.
Are you sure that was the final score?
98-94.
I changed the TV too fast. 98-94?
98-94, Portland.
Wow. I ended up with 10-2. 98-94. I got that one right. Man, I was screwing myself out of a win. Look at that. What'd you end up with last night?
10-2.
Huh?
10-2.
Wow, yeah, because we traded off on one of our picks and we both lost New Orleans.
Gonna be a good one.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
The line says 5 to Sacramento. I'm going upset. Brooklyn.
You're not going to go Brooklyn.
Joe Johnson is going to go off in this game.
Can't do it by himself, baby.
And neither can DeMarcus Cousins. Can he? Because if DeMarcus Cousins could do it by
Who's
himself,
got the better bench, bud?
Brooklyn. Name a Sacramento bench player.
They sure make a lot of substitutions to give Cousins rest.
And it obviously doesn't win them games.
Okay? 10-2.
Brooklyn over Sacramento.
I got Sacramento.
That's the fourth
That's a
difference.
difference.
Okay. You want to talk game of the night? Here's your game of the night. Houston
We're
at
not going past Wednesday night, are we?
Houston
Too
at
much can change. Because look at Thursday.
Houston at Golden State.
What's the line
Right
say?
now the line is 8 to Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
The last time these two teams met was last week, and Golden State destroyed Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Golden State by 10.
We don't have a difference there. We do not have a difference there.
All right.
So we have
4 differences tonight.
4 differences on Wednesday night.
4 differences tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
All right, Yvonne, you ready?
Sure.
Pull off.
Oh, man.
Pull out your mid-season playoff bracket.
I cannot believe you're doing this to me. You're asking me these questions.
No, your playoff bracket first. Yes.
But I'm looking at number 9.
Yep.
I hate it when you
We do
this
it.
to me.
No, listen to me. This is not about. Those questions are not what's going to happen at the end of the year. These questions are what has happened so far this year.
I know, but I still hate
So there's
it.
no guessing involved.
All right.
This is guessing. Okay?
All right.
Mid-season. Okay? We're almost at the All-Star
I'm
break.
circling the date and putting my name on it.
We did this last year. Okay?
Yeah.
What we're about to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we're about to fill out our mid-season playoff bracket.
Which I hate.
How we think it's going to end up in May. Okay? Based on what's happened so far this season. Now, the important thing, Yvonne, that we address to them is that when doing this, there is no favoritism involved.
Favoritism.
Right. Okay. What I mean by that is we have to be realistic when doing this. We can't put New Orleans at the number 1 seed because they're our team.
Of course not.
Okay? This is all based on what we're
Stats
looking
and
at.
wins and yeah.
Okay?
Right.
What we think is actually going to happen
Of course. I don't want to look like a fool.
come May. Okay?
Otherwise, I'd put NOP in every category.
Above the left column, put East.
You've got East right here.
Oh,
You've got Eastern
didn't even look at
Conference.
that. Okay.
You got West on the left and Eastern on the right.
In the top 2 in the East, okay?
In the top 2 in the
Those
East.
2, that's going to be number 1 and number 8. Okay?
Okay.
So if you want to label them, if it'll help you out, I am.
All right.
1 and 8.
Okay.
Okay, the next one are going to be 4 and 5.
Right here.
Yes.
All right. Why are we guessing at this? Why don't we go with what they say?
No,
As of today.
I'm labeling the numbers.
4 and 7.
No, 4 and 5.
4 and 5.
Next is going to be 3 and 6.
3 and 6.
And at the bottom, it's going to be 2 and 7.
2 and 7. Okay.
Okay. This is what you think is going to happen based on what's happened so far in May. Okay? You want to start with the East or the West?
They tell us right now, based on
Right.
what's happened.
We're going to
If we had to,
this.
if we had to play right now, number 1 would be so and so, and number 8 would be so and so,
Right.
and that's who'd be playing.
Right.
Why are we going to differentiate from what they're
We're
saying?
not. We're going to predict who wins these matchups.
Oh, so you're going to tell me who they are, and then
Yes.
All
Yes. You want to start
Turn that off
with the East
with the switch.
or the West?
It doesn't matter. We've
Then
already labeled the East, so
Then
go
we'll
with
start
the East.
with the East. The number 1 seed right now in the East, of course,
Of course.
is Atlanta. Okay?
All right.
The number 8 seed in the East right now, if you look at your thing, is Brooklyn. Okay? So that's a matchup right there.
Mm-hmm.
The 4 seed in the East right now is Chicago. The 5
Okay.
seed is Cleveland. The 3 seed is Toronto. And the 6 seed is Milwaukee. And the 2 seed is Washington. And the 7 seed is Miami.
Okay.
So we can start with the East.
Sure.
The 1-8 matchup.
Atlanta.
In how many games do you think?
Out of 7?
I know you love doing that. You love picking how many games you think it's going to be. And remember how you circled how many games you thought it would be and put it in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going to do.
I don't see it going past 4.
You see a sweep.
A sweep. Yeah. Atlanta and Brooklyn? Come on.
I like Atlanta in 5.
You giving Brooklyn too much credit.
I'm giving the fact that Joe Johnson knows his former team very well a lot of credit.
I've got a sweep.
I've got Atlanta in 5. Chicago
Where do you want me to put that?
in between the 2 teams. Remember how he used to do it? Like that.
Oh,
In between the matchups.
okay. I've got 4.
Chicago and Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Keep in mind Chicago has home court.
Cleveland.
You've got Cleveland.
Yeah.
In how many?
6 or 7, I'm not sure. Oh, it's not going to be easy. But I see Cleveland doing this, baby. Come on.
Chicago in 7.
Chicago in 7?
David Blatt in the playoffs? Are you kidding me?
No.
Are you kidding me? You want to talk about giving a team too much credit?
It's LeBron's team on the court. You know that.
And
You know
you
that.
don't think Derrick Rose is going to give Kyrie Irving any trouble? You don't think that Jimmy Butler's going to give LeBron James the least
I've got
bit of
Cleveland
trouble?
in 6. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Toronto and Milwaukee. Could be an interesting series.
Toronto. Five or 6?
I got Toronto in 5.
That's what I was going to say.
Milwaukee's just simply too young right now.
Right.
They're simply too young. And Washington and Miami.
Washington. But I think that's going to take 7.
Really?
6 or 7.
I've got Washington in 6.
Yeah.
I think Wade, Bosch,
Yeah.
Dang, and those boys make it very difficult.
Now, all of this is so contingent upon injuries. Okay? I see that one could go all the way.
It could. It could. It very well could.
Okay? Okay?
Okay. Let's label the West.
Okay?
Okay, the 1 seed in the West obviously right now is Golden State. Okay. The 8 seed is Phoenix. The 4 seed is Houston. The 5 seed is Dallas.
Wow.
The 3 seed is Memphis. The 6th seed is the LA Clippers. The 2 seed is Portland.
Okay.
And the 7th seed is San Antonio.
And the what?
The 7th seed is San Antonio.
Okay.
So let's look at that first matchup. Golden State and
Why is
Phoenix.
San Antonio 7?
Because they're 26 and 16.
Man, those guys being out made a big difference.
That first matchup, Golden State and Phoenix. You want to talk about a matchup of backcourts? Holy cow.
Golden State.
Exciting, high scoring. Golden State in 5. Phoenix is going to win one of those games. They have too talented of a bench not to.
That's what I was going to say anyway. Oh my gosh.
The hardest
Yeah.
of the first rounders.
Yeah. Houston and Dallas.
Houston and Dallas.
Yeah. I got pros and cons for both teams. I'm going to say Houston. You got Houston?
Dallas in 6.
Because of Rondo.
Wrong. Who's the deeper team?
Are you forgetting about James Harden?
Are you forgetting about Dirk Nowitzki and Chandler Parsons and Dallas's number 1 ranked bench in the entire NBA, combined with the scoring of Monte Ellis and, timeout, James Harden's very mediocre defense? Okay? James Harden is great. But James Harden is not going to beat a Dallas team by himself in a 7-game series.
I've got Houston.
Houston is just not that good.
Okay. I've got Houston.
You just said they have no bench to speak of.
I've got Houston in 6. I didn't say it was going to be easy, but when push comes to
They've
shove,
got no bench to speak of.
I've got Houston in 6.
Then bench has no matter in the playoffs.
I've got Houston in 6.
Wow. Overrated.
You just got through singing James Harden's praises.
And Dallas's. You don't beat the number 1 bench in the
Okay.
NBA with a single player.
Okay?
You're very famous for saying one player can't do it all.
I'm very much aware of that.
And we know how Dwight Howard disappears in the playoffs.
Okay, well, I've got Houston in 6. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Memphis and the Clippers.
Memphis. I want the Clippers to win, but I see Memphis taking that. You've got the Clippers?
In 7 games. Why? Because it happened last year. You want to talk about somebody disappearing in the playoffs? Memphis absolutely disappears off the face of the planet in the playoffs. This was the exact
I've got Memphis
matchup.
in 7.
Clippers in 7.
Okay?
Portland and San Antonio.
San Antonio. Now, up against Portland, it's not going to be a sweep.
San Antonio in 6. They don't have home court. Game 6 will be in San Antonio. That's where they'll end it. They'll win 1 in Portland.
I see that. Okay?
Back to the East.
All right.
You've got Atlanta, Cleveland. I've got Atlanta, Chicago. Which
Doesn't matter.
team?
It's still going to be Atlanta.
Which team's going to the Eastern Conference
Atlanta.
Finals?
Come on. You even have to think about that? Are you kidding? Atlanta. Stats don't lie.
Neither does experience in the playoffs.
Okay. You giving LeBron too much credit.
LeBron doesn't play for Chicago, my friend.
Oh, that's right. My team is Cleveland.
Oh, there's no question Atlanta would beat Cleveland.
Okay.
Cleveland
Well,
just doesn't have their stuff together. They're too young. They've
I've
not
got
played.
Atlanta in Cleveland.
Yeah.
You've got Atlanta in Chicago.
Right. There's no doubt that Atlanta would beat Cleveland because Cleveland has not played in a playoff format together.
Okay. Come on, you know you want to write down Atlanta.
It really makes no difference because an Eastern Conference team's not going to win the finals.
No, I
It
know
really
that.
makes no difference to me.
Go with your gut, like you tell me.
It's tough because Atlanta and Chicago match up very well together. In fact, they've split the season series so far 1-1. Which tells me right there that Chicago is one of the few teams that can beat Atlanta. They were my preseason pick. I'm sticking by them.
Chicago?
Chicago in 6.
I've got Atlanta in 6.
Then we both have Toronto and Washington. That's going to be a good series.
Yep.
If that happens.
And I have no idea who to pick. I guess I'm going to have to stick with my gut and go with Washington.
Washington in 7 games.
Absolutely. That's what I've got.
Why?
That's what I got.
Because the truth doesn't lie. Paul Pierce, in playoff games, steps up, gives you big,
And honey,
big
they make
moments.
it to this point, he's going to want it bad.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Okay?
Absolutely no doubt about it.
But it's not going to be a walk in the park against Toronto. It's going to go all the way.
In the West, you've
Okay.
got Golden State and Houston.
Golden State.
I've got Golden State and Dallas.
Okay?
How many games you got Golden State beating Houston in?
Oh, I think it's going to go for 7.
7.
6. 6 or 7. It's not going to be easy. Where will they play that last game if Golden State's ahead?
Golden State.
Well, then it's that would be game
That
7.
would be game 7. Game 5 would be in Golden State. Game 7 would be in Golden State.
I don't think they're going to do it in 5 against Houston, so I'm going to say 7.
I've got Golden State and Dallas.
As much confidence as you have in Dallas. Remember, Golden State in the paint.
Right. They're one-dimensional.
I know that.
And I'm sorry. Rajon Rondo, I know you think I'm overrating him, but does he not shut down Stephen Curry? Rondo against a one-dimensional player? Are you kidding me?
Okay, then make your pick.
Dallas in 6.
Okay,
Because Golden State is highly overrated.
okay.
The Clippers in San Antonio.
I have Memphis,
You have
and
Memphis
San
and San
Antonio.
Antonio.
Where will Game 5 be played?
Memphis.
Then I'm going 6. I can't go 4. That's
Because
not given.
you've got... Who are you picking?
San Antonio. If I say San Antonio in 4, that's not giving Memphis enough credit. So I'm going to have to say 6 because I don't think it'll make it to 7. Because I got San Antonio winning.
I've got the Clippers and San Antonio. I've got San Antonio in 6.
Okay, well, we've got 6 no matter what.
Okay, the conference finals.
Da 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 da!
You've got Atlanta, Washington. What you got?
Atlanta.
I would never in a million years pick Atlanta over a Paul Pierce-led Washington Wizards team
Oh!
in the conference finals.
Wait.
Never in a million years would I pick that. Never in a million
Wait,
years.
Atlanta against what? I got my bracket wrong. Okay. Atlanta.
Never in a million years would I pick Atlanta
Okay.
over Washington in the conference finals.
Okay. I got Atlanta.
In how many?
Where will the last game be played?
Atlanta.
Oh, well, then it's going to have to go to 7.
I've got Chicago and Washington. Okay, and be sure to put the Eastern Conference team in the bottom. See how it's attached to the bottom?
Okay. Well, I did that wrong. Hang on. All right.
You've got Atlanta in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got them beating Washington in 7 games.
Yep.
I've got Washington beating Chicago in 7 games.
Okay.
Home court advantage. Paul Pierce.
Okay.
John Wall. They win.
Okay.
The West. You have Golden State and San Antonio. I've got the divisional matchup. Dallas and San Antonio.
Okay. I've got San Antonio.
In
Where will the last game be played?
Golden State.
Then I've got San Antonio in, hell, I don't even know if it'll go till 6. But I'm going to put it for 6.
I've got Dallas and San Antonio in the Western Conference Finals. I'm picking San Antonio because they are Dallas's kryptonite. Tony Parker, Kawhi Leonard,
Mm-hmm.
Tim Duncan in 6 games over Dallas
Okay.
in a hard-fought physical series.
All
Now,
right.
your NBA Finals is San Antonio and Atlanta.
Yep.
Who you got and how many?
San Antonio.
In
Where will game 5 be played?
Atlanta will have home court. But in the finals, here's how it works. Games 1 and games 2 will be played in Atlanta.
Okay.
Games 3, 4, and 5 will be played in San Antonio.
Okay. Man, I hope everybody plays and nobody's injured. If everybody plays and nobody's injured, I see San Antonio in 4.
A sweep.
Oh no, that would make it a sweep, wouldn't it? Then 5. 5 will still be in San Antonio?
Game 5 would be in San Antonio.
Okay. I will let, I think Atlanta's going to win. Where 6 would be
Back in Atlanta.
in Atlanta, and then where would 7 be?
Atlanta.
No. 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 Then I'm going 5. San Antonio in 5.
I've got San Antonio and Washington in my finals. I've got San Antonio in 5.
Okay. I hope they got their license number and they turn them in.
What happened?
Somebody went right through the barriers, dropping the kids off. This way. Somebody came across, even though the bus has their flags out. And the FedEx guy went ballistics, sitting on his horn, and I hope he got that driver's license number.
Anyway, that's what we
Okay.
got.
So I've got San Antonio winning.
So do I. Repeat. Tim Duncan gets
Yep.
ring number 6 to tie MJ.
Okay?
Boom.
Well, we got some differences. We'll see. So we both ended up with 10-2 last night.
Yes, we did.
Okay, now you're gonna make me. You're gonna.
The
kill
last
me.
part.
You're gonna kill me with this.
Last part. Did
I hate this.
Okay, but this is not predicting the end of the season. This is based off
I
of
don't
so far this season.
care. Because I forget about who's on whose team sometimes.
The mid-season awards.
According to Christopher Guyette.
That's right.
Okay.
In your mind, Yvonne, question A. Who's been the best team in the league so far and why?
The best team in the league so far?
Yep.
Well, it's got to be Atlanta.
I'm inclined to agree with that. I don't
Okay.
think there's any disputing it. 27 out of 29. I don't
Okay.
think you can even touch that.
Okay.
Who is your coach of the year at the mid-season point? And why?
It's going to sound totally ludicrous because if you pick the best team so far of the year, it would stand to reason that you would pick the best, that team would have the best coach so far. But
Not necessarily.
But I disagree. And I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I have a very valid reason for who I'm picking. And I'm going to say Doc.
Really?
Yeah. You took him out of his comfort zone for how many years? You gave him a brand new team. Okay? He had to learn these guys, learn how to live in a new city, moved his family, learn how to work with these guys. And at Doc's age, this is almost like starting from scratch. And look what he's done. No, the Clippers are not way up there right now, but the Clippers, considering what and working with Chris Paul, and now he's got his son on the team. He's under a lot of pressure. So, all around, taking into account not only because, I'm Skip Bayless. I'm not just looking at stats. I'm not just looking at on the court. I'm not just looking at basketball. I'm looking at coach so far of the year all around.
Mm-hmm.
Because your family life has a lot to do with it. And if there's controversy at home, you bring that to work sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Et cetera, et cetera. I gotta say Doc. Because of everything and all the changes that man has had to go through so far this year.
Interesting. Mike Budenholzer, head coach of the Atlanta Hawks.
I knew, yeah.
Simply because, not because of how many wins Atlanta has. Because there are those out there that are going to say Steve Kerr for Golden State. And you know what? They'd be well within their right to do that.
Absolutely.
This is Mike Budenholzer's first year in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And look what he's done.
Yeah.
Now it's Steve Kerr's first year in Golden State.
Yeah.
So it's well within your right to say that. But please tell me who expected Atlanta to be number one right now.
Yeah, but it's also Blatt's first year with,
Mm-hmm.
and it's also Jason Kidd's first year, and it's also
Derek Fisher.
Derek Fisher's first year.
Which makes this even more relevant as to why I'm picking this.
So honestly, we just named 3 of the least impressive coaches.
All in the Eastern Conference.
Absolutely.
Just like Mike Budenholzer. Budenholzer is.
Absolutely.
Which makes my pick even more valid
I
to me.
agree. I agree. But I'm looking, you know me.
Who
I look at it all the way around, not just from a basketball point of view.
Who has been your team surprise this season, and
Well,
why?
Atlanta. Atlanta. You cannot find a more unified team right now. Right now.
Well, right now, I would agree with that, but they're not my surprise team. They're not the team that I'm most shocked by in a good way.
Okay.
For me, it's Milwaukee. They're 5th in the East. After being second to last year.
I agree.
With
Okay.
Jason Kidd as a first-year
Yeah,
head coach.
I agree.
Coming off his very mediocre stance in
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
I can see that.
Milwaukee's impressed me. Milwaukee has impressed me.
Okay.
Your biggest team disappointment so
The
far.
Knicks.
I could not agree more with the Knicks. I could not agree more.
And you know what? It even hurts me to write it down.
Your surprise player so far this season, the player that has surprised you the most, the player that has stuck out to you that you didn't expect
That I didn't expect?
to have an outstanding season.
Wow. I can name 2 or 3.
Okay, so name them.
Well, Anthony Davis
That's mine.
would be my number 1.
That's mine.
I mean, 2 years ago, nobody knew who he was.
That's mine.
So, I mean, I would have to say AD. Okay?
Kyrie Irving.
That's what I was going to say, too. But that's really not a surprise because we knew how good he was
Yeah,
already.
but this good? Hey, he's up the level this year.
Okay? Well, if you're going to go there and you're going to say this good, then James Harden.
Okay.
We knew
That's
he was
valid.
good.
That's valid.
We
That's
knew he was good, but did
that's-
we know he was this good?
That is completely valid. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue anything.
I'll take you one step further. Up until 2 weeks ago, I didn't know who Oladipo was. Now, is he the biggest surprise? No. But is he a surprise? But I still say number 1 is AD.
No question. No question in my mind. Biggest or most disappointing player so far this season?
Oh, wow.
For me, this one's simple.
Simple?
Very simple.
Then I'm dying to know who you said.
And I hate to do it. It's got to be Kobe Bryant.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That's the first one that came to
I'm
mind.
not disappointed in him because I know what he's going through. But I'm disappointed because he's disappointed in himself.
That's not the question you put down.
But that's my pick. That's my pick.
Biggest player disappointment
Kobe
so
Bryant.
far.
Kobe Bryant. Because I know he wants to be out on that floor every night, but he physically can't do it.
Well, then if you're going to go there, why can't we say Steve Nash?
Because he hasn't played at all. He's not even on a team.
But that's the biggest disappointment.
If you say so. I think it's a bigger disappointment that Kobe's sitting on the sideline, physically not able to go every night. I think that's more of a disappointment than Steve Nash not being on a team. Or, hell, if we're doing Steve Nash, you could do Paul George.
Yeah. We could.
For me, it's Kobe. Because he can get out
But
there.
when you use the word biggest player disappointment, to me that means you're talking about his ability and skill and how he has produced.
Okay.
You think Kobe fits in that category?
Not like that, no. But the fact that he can't get out there and play every night like he wants to
But
because of Father Time.
that's a personal disappointment for himself.
Still a disappointment.
Asking you what my biggest player disappointment is Kevin Garnett.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because he's old enough to know better than what he's doing.
Fair enough.
Because Kobe can't help what's happening. KG can.
That, for me, is a disappointment. Is that he can't help it.
Okay? It's all in your perception.
Right. That's all this is. This is completely opinion-based. That's why I like it.
Okay?
Your 6th man of the year so far, and why?
It's got to be Kyrie Irving.
He's not a 6th man, he's a starter.
Oh, he's starting, that's right.
Guy that comes off the bench.
I know.
For me, it's between two guys.
Okay?
Jamal Crawford of Los Angeles. And my pick, Isaiah Thomas. I don't think you can find a better 6th man in the entire NBA right now than Isaiah Thomas. Simply because that man needs to be starting. That's how good he is. But he's fine with playing the 6th man role. And he's
Where
pretty
does
damn
Nate
good
fit
at
in
it.
there?
I can't really say Nate Robinson because he ain't playing for nobody right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Isaiah Thomas has shown up every night.
Yeah.
Between him and Jamal Crawford, that's a toss-up. I mean, Jamal Crawford's won the damn award 3 times. I mean,
Yeah.
how can you not include Crawford in the conversation?
Yeah, but it's got to be Isaiah.
And it's got to be. The numbers. The numbers are staggering.
Yeah.
Your breakout player of the year so far at midseason. Somebody that had a mediocre or bad season last year, like, who was there and you knew who he was, but has just elevated
Oladipo.
to standards beyond.
Like Oladipo's doing.
Could be. This is one of the tougher ones to do.
Yeah, it is.
Because everybody's a candidate.
Yeah. It is. Would you say J.R. Smith fits in that category?
J.R. Smith's more of the 6th man type. For me, it's got to be Anthony Davis. It's got to be. It's got to be. Who expected this from Anthony Davis this year?
We've already categorized him, though, as the biggest player
surprise. Right. So wouldn't it stand to reason, since he's the biggest surprise, that he's a breakout star because nobody saw it coming?
But I was thinking more along the lines of the ones that are not starters. Your breakout player, somebody who was maybe on the bench and is now being called on the court more often. That's not a starter.
Okay, so if you want to look at it like that, oof. That's tough.
Yeah.
I got Anthony Davis. I mean, he averaged 17 and 10 last year, which is not bad. But this
But I
year he's
don't call
averaging 24 and 11.
Let's don't do it that way. Breakout meaning not a starter. Let's make it more interesting.
Not a starter.
Not a starter.
Well, your Oladipo thing goes right out the window. 'Cause
I
he
know
starts.
I know that.
Okay.
Is JJ Redick a starter?
Mhm.
That's what I thought. Wow. That's tough.
Oh, I got one for you.
Who?
Mo Williams.
There you go. Mo!
Because up until a week ago, he wasn't starting. They were starting a rookie, Zach LaVine, over Mo Williams.
Yeah, because I asked you who Mo was.
You want to talk about breakout? I'll give you 52 reasons
Yep.
that he deserves to be a breakout
Yeah.
player.
Yep. Yep.
The most improved player so far
Okay,
this
you
season.
and I are totally going to disagree on this one.
We shouldn't.
You and I are going to totally
Who do you
disagree
have?
on this one. You're going to say Anthony Davis.
No, I'm not.
You're not?
No, I'm not.
Who are you going to say?
Jimmy Butler.
Okay. Well then.
Without a shadow of a
Okay,
doubt.
then we're not going to disagree because that's
Jimmy
who I picked.
Butler.
That's who I picked.
If
and I
you've
thought
got
you were
any
gonna say
other
Anthony
candidates,
Davis.
please give them to me because I don't see how anybody fits into this category any better than Jimmy Butler.
Oh, there's no question.
Defensive Player of the Year so far this season.
Well, that's got to be LeBron.
It's a good pick. It's not mine, but it's a good pick. Mine is kind of a dark horse pick. A dark horse candidate, which shouldn't be a dark horse because he leads the league in rebounding and in shot blocking. DeAndre Jordan. I don't see how you can argue leading in blocking and in rebounding. Those are the two main things on the defensive end. And he leads the league in both. Plus, he leads the league in field goal percentage. DeAndre Jordan's having a hell of a year. Very quietly, I might add.
Because he's a quiet player.
Because he plays on the same team as CP3 and Blake Griffin. But DeAndre Jordan ain't nobody to mess with. That guy's having a good season. But I've said on many occasions that LeBron's the best damn defensive player there is. And I stand by that. But this season, so far, and this is because we're going to do these exact same questions again at the end of the season before the awards are announced. Okay? Right now, mid-season, you lead the league in not one, not two, but three categories.
Yeah, I was not aware of that.
Your name
You're the
deserves to
stats
be
person.
somewhere.
So
DeAndre Jordan right now.
yeah,
Of course, it's liable to change.
right.
But another person who should be in this conversation is DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah.
And your MVP so far, and why?
That's simple for me. James Harden.
Without a doubt. The man is playing beyond himself. The man is carrying this team.
I think the man is surprising even himself.
He's outstanding. He's absolutely outstanding. Outstanding. All right.
And if he doesn't get it, if he continues to play like this, and he doesn't get it,
He'll get it.
because
If
in
he
the
continues like
popularity
this,
contest,
If he continues
I'm
like this,
gonna be very upset.
that'll be two of us. If he continues to play like he is, he'll get it. But LeBron's coming.
I'd like to back up before you shut us down completely,
Sure.
okay?
If you have any topics about best or worst, whatever.
No, but I'd like to add something to one of my previous answers,
Okay.
okay? We said when we were talking about breakout players that we were not going to talk about the starters,
Right.
okay? Forget the starters and let's talk about the ones who have made a substantial difference and improved over last year,
Right.
okay? If we do include the starters, I would like to add Kevin Durant's name to that. Because in my opinion, he has improved 150% in almost every category of the way he plays.
I'll agree with that, and I'll give you another candidate. How about Kawhi Leonard? Do I hear that name anywhere?
Yeah.
Or how about Kyrie Irving?
They're not breakout players because they're not new, and they were just as good last year to a certain extent in different areas. But you gotta admit, the Durant from last year versus the Durant from this year.
Or how about Russell Westbrook? More assisting, more rebounding? Hey, he could be up there too.
And Kevin Durant could also fit in the category of biggest player surprise so far.
About his aggressiveness change,
Right.
yes.
We said Anthony
Ru-
Davis,
or Russell-
but AD was awesome last year
Or
too.
Russell Westbrook sharing the ball more. That's a huge surprise.
Okay,
Hey,
so I just thought, for posterity purposes, that I dogged Kevin Durant last year. I didn't mean to, and I didn't mean it in a negative way. I just wanted him to find the courage to step up, and he did.
Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. That concludes this edition of Full Court Press Basketball Debate. For Yvonne Juno, I'm Chris Guyette, and we'll see you next week.